All right, this one's a little fresh. That's why it is 2 a.m. I can't sleep, but I think I have to channel some of the passion that I'm feeling for an incident that I had happen today. So I thought I'd just come out here and, I don't know, try and be raw about it and take the opportunity to share the moment with you. This is fresh. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm still a little shook as I record, but I'm sharing it with you because I believe moments like this, when your heart gets, sideswiped, can become some of the greatest lessons if you let them. So here it is. My husband and I are renovating a cottage. It's just a small, sweet 2-bedroom cottage. Nothing wild, no crazy additions, same footprint, thoughtful upgrades, over-the-top effort to be respectful to the neighbors and the surrounding area. We've been very transparent, respectful. We've even gone so above and beyond doing things we don't need to do, like putting overhead wires just so it doesn't take away a neighbor's view because it's a water view, and putting in new septic. We really care. So when the town meeting came up today to get the permits and the neighbors started coming in, I thought, oh my gosh, Tom, how awesome. The neighbors are all here to support us. I really believed that. But instead, they came in swinging accusation, made up facts, fear tactics, mocking. And I don't mean gentle concerns. I mean like a 30, 40-minute straight up assault on our character, our motives, and our plans. This wasn't about the house anymore. This was about something deeper. And yes, I cried. Oh, not because of any kind of permit delay, but because of what it revealed. And that is hurt people hurt people. And we've all heard that. We all know that. And it's easy to say that phrase casually, but when it's you on the other end of the hurt, it hits different. Anyway, I looked at these neighbors, many of them over 90, and underneath the anger, I saw sadness and boredom and disconnection, maybe even a little bitterness, but most of all, I saw loneliness. And suddenly the whole thing felt a little spiritual, like God was showing me something way bigger than a house plan. People are angry, people are hurting, and when they don't know what to do with their pain, they aim it at whoever's closest. And the hard truth is, when people are sitting in a dark place, they don't want to be reminded that light still exists. So what do? They try to dim yours. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your peace makes their pain louder. Your kindness exposes their bitterness. Your joy stirs up what they haven't felt in a long time. And when they don't know what to do with that pain, they aim at whoever's shining, especially the ones who are happy. We were clearly the happy ones in the room before they tried to take that from us. Darkness loves dark. They were feeding off of each other's venom. One person shouted a lie saying, they're lifting the house 8 feet in the air. We're not. The town is actually requiring us to raise the house 14 inches. We don't even want to, but that's it. But it didn't matter. Once that little lie hit the room, they all jumped in. They were ranting like a fired up mob on a mission. Each one was more animated than the last. I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh. It was like watching people get high off of outrage. One spark of misinformation, and suddenly they were united in this darkness. Why? Well, because misery loves company. And the moment light shows up, that misery starts scrambling for shade. Oh, what I want to do as opposed to what I should do? Oh boy, let me be real. What I want to do right now, my instinct is to build a giant wall, like a literal wall right in front of their house. Tall, bold, maybe a mural that says, petty lives live here. Maybe that's the honest truth. Because when people attack you unfairly, your first instinct is to fight back, to defend, to prove them wrong and block the view and block the vibe. But here's what I've learned. Just because those feelings show up doesn't mean you have to follow them. I recognized it. I felt the anger. I felt the fight coming in, the what's wrong with these people moment. So I removed myself for a minute. I quietly left the meeting. I went into the bathroom and I said a little prayer like, Lord, help me not kill these people. No, I didn't say that. But I did say a real one. I said, God, help me not match their energy. Help me respond like you would. Give me the tools and let me go out there and let me behave in a way that is pleasing to you. Because this was one of those pivotal moments, the kind where your reaction either raises the room or it sinks to meet it. And I knew I did not want to become the person that their behavior deserved. So I took a breath. I'm still taking a breath. I got grounded and I walked back in, not to fight, but to speak the truth calmly, clearly, and with heart. And tears. I stood up and I told them that I actually thought they were there to support us, that my heart broke when they didn't. And I really cried right there. One of them even told me to go back to therapy, but I didn't match their cruelty. I just let my sadness show. They could see my disappointment. After all, this was the first time I've ever even seen some of these people, and it turned out to be them slaughtering us. The more vulnerable I got, the deeper they dug. And here's the thing. I could see it in their bored faces. They saw the difference between venom and vulnerability. The more they dug deep, the more they realized I was not going to fight fire with fire. They wanted a fight so bad, and I was not about to give them that. So now I have a choice here. What will I choose to build? Really, here's where it gets good, right? This is where the choice comes in. When people hurt you, do you build a wall, literally in this situation, or do you build a bridge? Because we have a chance to do either, but only one leads to peace. And I've been thinking, what would happen if I showed up next week? Well, maybe not next week. I might need a couple more weeks to kind of let it cool off. But what if I did show up on a rainy day and brought their trash bins up from the curb when it was raining, right? What if I chose love instead of resentment? Not because they deserve it, but because I deserve peace, and it's what Jesus would do, because I know who I am, because this world is starving for someone to break the cycle. And kindness can accomplish so much more. If I build a wall, literally, and also a wall out of pride, what is that going to accomplish? A monetary win, small satisfaction personally, but also division, bitterness, distance. But if I build a bridge with kindness, maybe, just maybe, it'll build something deeper. Maybe it will remind someone who's old and angry that not everyone is out to get them. Maybe it will crack open the hardness of a heart that forgot how to hope. Maybe it teaches my own soul how to rise, because the hardest people to love are usually the ones who need it the most. So today, I'm leaving you with this. We don't have to match that energy. We can lead with our own. When the crowd comes at you with bitterness, respond with compassion. And when the crowd expects you to build a wall, build something stronger, build character, build grace, build a legacy of light. And that's what I'm going to try and do. But I'm going to have to be intentional about it. I never said it was easy. But do what's hard and life will be easy. Do what's easy, life will be hard. And if you're like me, still processing, still shaking, still wanting to yell, "Are you kidding me?" That's okay too. But don't let it take your joy. Don't let it steal the light. We're here to change the world. Sometimes the ones right next door need it the most. And maybe, just maybe, this little house that we're building is a lot more sacred than we thought. And it's funny, God always answers prayers, right? I've been praying. All I ever want to do is live on my boat. That's it. My husband, not so much. But hey, that's where we're living this summer, and that's where I'll be recording. So pretty amazing how God answers prayers. Here I will be living on my boat, the answer to prayer. Anyway, I'm Jen Smith. This is Elevate, coming at you at 2 a.m. Let's Go Live launched, even when the crowds throw stones, because love builds what walls never can. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on Elevate.